Sarai, Bareman, we are on the eve of the FIFA Women's World Cup at the 29th OFC Ordinary Congress. I mean, you've done so many interviews in the last year, but here it is, it's upon us. What are you feeling right now?
I feel all the emotions. I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm exhausted, but most of all, I'm anticipating. Yeah, it's going to be incredible. And to be here at the Congress, to feel the emotion of being back amongst the Oceania family, it's really hit home for me how meaningful this World Cup is for the Pacific region. And that's something that is so special about this World Cup.
Does it need to actually just kick off before really the Pacific, New Zealand and the rest of the Pacific, is really captivated, captured? And once that first ball is underway, the game's underway, do you think it's going to explode?
Yeah, absolutely. I think those of us that are living and breathing the women's game every day, and there are many in the Pacific, we know it's here, we can feel it. But for the rest, I think once it kicks off, the opening ceremony, it's massive in Eden Park. Once the matches start, the fever will catch on and people will, I think, really start to realise how massive this event is.
You'll be aware of the commitment OFC has towards women's football. You've seen the first ever Women's Champions League in Papua New Guinea last month. We've now got the FIFA Women's World Cup in our own backyard, so to speak. What sort of legacy do you think tournaments like these, and this in particular, is going to have for women's football in the Pacific?
Yeah. Well, I think number one is participation, and we saw that in France 4 years ago, in England, after the final whistle blew, in that following month, 850,000 women and girls laced up their boots for the first time ever to play football. And we're going to see the same thing here in New Zealand in Aotearoa, but also right across the Pacific region. So we've got to be ready for that, and that's something I feel quite passionate about, and we're trying to capture in the legacy. There's going to be a big boom in interest of girls and women wanting to play, wanting to administer, wanting to ref, wanting to be part of our sport. And as clubs, as associations, we all need to stand ready to retain that interest.
One of the things I hear, and I've heard speaking to a lot of young girls and women around the Pacific, is, when I started football, the boys wouldn't pass the ball to me. Do you think a tournament like this, showcasing the skills that are on display, the quality of the football, is going to convert a lot of boys into saying, well, hey, these girls can, we'll include them, because that's a big part of it, isn't it, for women's football, being included? Absolutely,
100%. You are going to see some of the best athletes in the world on the stadiums in our backyard. And it's not only girls and women who will fill those stadiums, it will be boys and men as well. And one of the most beautiful things that I've seen even here around the streets in Auckland in the build-up to this event is actually young boys wearing the jerseys of their female footballing heroes. And that's what we want to see more of. And I think this World Cup will take that to the next level.
This is how we football in many ways. It's about a pathway in football for girls and for women. You've shown it with you working at the Samoan Football Federation way back in the day, and to where you are now at FIFA. How would you describe your journey, and maybe have you got some words of inspiration for girls and women in their journey in football, either on the field or off it?
Yeah. I think football has given me so much in my life. Yeah, it's given me my career, obviously, but it's also given me the ability to reach so many people in life. And that started in the Pacific. It started in Samoa, and now it's at a global level. And there were big challenges, I have to say, especially as a woman coming into a male-dominated industry. But once I understood the power that football has, especially in the Pacific, it allowed me to overcome a lot of those barriers and challenges. So I would say, especially to women and girls that want to be part of this game, go for it. And if there's a challenge or a barrier in front of you, don't allow that to stop the passion that you have for the game.
And embrace the culture, and that's evident here coming through, right? Embrace the culture. It's so big, isn't it? The cultural side of it is so big in sport and football in the Pacific.
It is, and one of the beautiful things about this World Cup is the way we're going to be able to highlight to the globe the Indigenous cultures of New Zealand and Australia, the Māori culture, which is so closely tied to our Pacific culture and some of the languages and the traditions. To see that on a world stage, watched by more than 2 billion people around the world, will be a very special moment, not only for New Zealand, but the whole Pacific region.
Fantastic. Enjoy the tournament. Have a wonderful month. I'm sure it's going to be, the most spectacular Women's World Cup yet.
Okay. Thank you very much.